Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level?
It's over 9,000!
What, 9,000?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Director's Cut, live from Studio A. I'm your host, Ryan Davies, later to be joined by my co-hosts, Juliana Battaglia and Eduardo Guzman. Join us tonight as we take a deep dive into a different world with killer notebooks, epic cards, and blonde girls kicking some major butt. It's anime night. Tonight, sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, some snacks, as you get to see our show's take on the anime genre, as well as a clip and live interview from our special guest, Ryan Pageant. But let's start with the killer notebook, shall we? Because humans are so interesting.
Oh, this gotta be the logbook. Jeez, it's all dirty. Death Note. I don't know. Thousands of dollars to stupid school for computers that don't even work. This works, I guess. Finally, this thing loads. Let's see. Great, and my project's here. Awesome. Now let's see. This one. Gotta jot it down. Make sure. 1-06 and DG, of course. Cool. And I can legally use this. This. And then the audio. Hello? Hey, yo! Who the cum are you?
Years ago, when this building went by, Dempster Hall, I was a young, bright-eyed student. One day, I worked from dawn till dusk, editing my RTVF 47 final. When I came back the following morning to finish my edit, I was met by a screen full of red and the dreaded words, offline. I didn't know what to do. I panicked. None of my classmates would help me, so I made the notebook. With my curse, I was able to wipe out all of the computers, preventing anybody from turning in their finals. I was caught and banished from Dempster, but my legacy lives on. And now, it is up to you to do what must be done.
No. You're right, Riley Walters. You're right. This school's been too painful, too much anguish for us students. You, me, who knows how many countless others. You're right. These computers will never see the light of day again. I will become the new god of LH Comp. Yes, they'll die. They'll all die.
Let's take some time to be grateful that a notebook like that doesn't actually exist in this building. With the Shinigami like Brendan Caston scaring the life out of that poor student editor, the chills are still running down my spine. But never mind that. I'm so excited for you all to meet our new host joining us for the evening. Here with me now is Juliana Battaglia to help give us a lowdown on all things film, entertainment, and news to continue our night. Hey, Juliana.
Hi, Ryan. Thanks so much for having me on. Let's get right into this and start off hot with HBO Max's new deal with Warner Brothers. So, as we know, Warner is releasing their entire theatrical slate onto HBO Max at the same time that their films are debuting in theaters.
It's crazy. I mean, it's so crazy to think that just 5-6 years ago, the idea of a blockbuster film like Wonder Woman 1984 being released and watched on cell phones was like foreign. But now, and with Paramount too, and their announcement today, it seems like this is our future.
This is setting a precedent, I think, beyond COVID for the unfortunate future of, I think, theaters.
Yeah, I mean, I do love the movie theaters, but I don't think you can really beat the convenience of sitting on your own couch and watching your favorite blockbuster. I mean, Mission Impossible 7 coming out, Quiet Place 2 next year. I think it's going to be a long time before people return to theaters, if ever.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of theaters, New York City theaters are reopening next month. Governor Cuomo announced that's happening on March 5th. So what do you think about that?
I mean, so here's the thing: is I've had this discussion before on the show, actually, with Spencer last year about what's better, what's a better experience. Because personally, I feel like a blockbuster film like Wonder Woman 1984 is best experienced in a theater. So it's my hope that if theaters scale back, we still can have our blockbusters released. Because I don't know about you, but I love the packed theater experience.
Yeah, of course. I think it's too early to tell what's going to happen once we're out of the pandemic, but hopefully we don't see them disappear for good.
Speaking of watching things at home, this Sunday is the Golden Globes featuring the return of Tina Fey and Amy Poehler as host. I couldn't be more excited.
They are an iconic duo, and I think they're going to bring the comedy to the next level. And I think audiences really need that right now.
Yeah, I just can't wait. What did you think of the Golden Globe nominations?
Honestly, the one that surprised me, not because it's not deserving, was Hamilton.
Really?
Yes, it deserves all the accolades it can get, don't get me wrong. But it's a filmed stage production,
Right.
so that kind of surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, I will admit I'm the only person on planet Earth who has not seen Hamilton, but I'm meaning to check it out, and maybe this Golden Globe nomination will inspire me to finally do so.
I hope so.
I was also a little miffed by the snubbing of Hugh Jackman and Allison Janney for the HBO original movie Bad Education. It's actually a true story about some corrupt public school officials right here on Long Island. It happened around 2003. Such a great movie. They're both such great actors, but
Disappointing because it hits so close to home for us, obviously, here at Hofstra and those in our community.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that was unfortunate. But why don't we talk about some exciting things happening at Hofstra with senior films?
Yes, I myself just got off a senior film this weekend. Justin Moore, the lovely man doing The Jib Tonight, his film. It was a lot of fun. We were in some snow. My car got stuck.
My goodness.
Justin didn't get stuck in the truck, but it was a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what all these seniors are doing. We actually have a 1-hour special that we're going to do at the end of the semester talking to all the seniors. You were recently on one too, playing a zombie, if I'm not mistaken?
I was a creature on our very own Nerisse Muller's set, Where the Horizon Lies. That was crazy. We were battling COVID, the snow, being out in the middle of nowhere. It's been quite the experience, and these seniors have had a lot to work with. They're working, super hard, working more so than they have in the past when the pandemic wasn't a thing. Yeah. So I give them a lot of credit, and that was a super exciting experience.
Oh, that's a photo from Justin's film, I believe.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm in that, but maybe I am. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for our 1-hour special and to see what all the seniors do. I know that was one of your first times acting in a film here at Hofstra, correct?
Yes, that was my film debut.
Did you? How was it? Did you enjoy it?
It was an experience. It was unparalleled, and that's not just because it was our own Nerissa's film. It was also just because there was so much that I was looking forward to doing, and I got to do it on the big screen. Coming from theater, that was huge. So yeah, absolutely.
Fascinating transition.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking about films, though, there was something that is really exciting. Speaking of women directing movies, the Golden Globes had an interesting nomination.
Yes.
3 women were nominated for the first time ever in a single year. We saw 3 women go up to be nominated for Best Director.
One of them being the phenomenal Regina King, who I've loved for years on screen, and I cannot wait to see her film and see how she handles everything behind the camera. But Juliana, it was a pleasure talking to you. There's never enough time with you. I can't wait to see what we have in store for our next episode.
I just have to say, Ryan, all that news talk is making me just a bit nostalgic. I can't seem to put my finger on it.
I think I get what you mean. Hey, let's just take it back to the good old days when all you needed was a McDonald's toy and a couple of fun cards to have a phenomenal day.
Nothing seems sweeter.
Sorry, Shimon. Your time is up. I attack with my Gigabyte, and you lose 500 life points.
Darn, I'm nearly finished, and Sakimitsu's just getting started. I'm gonna have to get creative with my next move.
Crying to yourself, boy, it won't help much. I put my card face down and you're through.
Alrighty then. You're right. You may have the upper hand right now, but I'll get you with this next move.
It won't be enough. My deck is too powerful.
She's right. I don't know what to do. I'll draw a card. Put it in my hand.
Untimely thoughts. This card can do it. All I need to do is play it when Sakimitsu attacks again, and this game will be back in my favor.
Are you planning on playing a card, Yoshiman? Or are you still trembling in fear? What is he doing? Is he paralyzed by fear? Or is he contemplating his next move? What could he have in his hand? What if he's plotting my very destruction? Perhaps a trap will do me in? A spell to destroy my great monsters? Or a monster that will destroy me? What do I do? Ugh, I concede.
You concede?
I don't know what you have, but I was finished.
Well, guess you could say you gotta trust the heart of the card.
I gotta stop putting my money into these games.
Damn! I still wish I had my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, because, it's always time to duel. Yeah, that brought back so many memories for me, and I hope it's done the same for you. Just remember, nothing can beat my blue-eyed white dragon. Crap, okay, sorry. I need to hide my inner weeb, but as we move on, I'm super excited to introduce our second co-host for the evening to help us bring on our special guest of the night. Here's your resident filmmaker, film buff extraordinaire, Eduardo Guzman.
Thank you so much for having me, Ryan. I really have to say, this basement is magnificent.
Thank you. Well, that isn't the only magnificent thing we have here tonight. Coming on next is tonight's guest, Ryan Pageon. He's a film studies production major with major interest in music, photography, programming, and our theme for the episode, anime.
Let's check out this clip from one of Ryan's more recent pieces, Time to Take a Look.
don't know about you, Ed, but I think that is the most relatable story I have ever seen captured on film.
I couldn't agree more. Honestly, there's been so many times where I've lost a few batteries and have needed them in dire moments.
You're trying to play Wii, you can't do it. Anyway, I'm thrilled to welcome another Ryan to the set. Ryan Pageon, thanks for being here. So, obviously, you were directing yourself in this film.
Yes, I was.
What was that like? Were you difficult to work with? Did you give a lot of notes?
I had a few criticisms, but I think the biggest part of working with myself, given that this was shot during the beginning of quarantine and when not a lot of information was common knowledge, everyone was all in their own homes and you only had access to your immediate family members and whatever equipment that you had. So I had shot this on my Canon photography camera, and I had come up with this idea after a few nights where I had played on that synthesizer, where I thought it'd be interesting if I could not get this to work, and I'd gone through all these different trials and tribulations to find batteries to make it work. Funny thing is, after this was done shooting, I discovered you can actually run it on batteries. I had always plugged it into my amp.
Amazing.
I noticed that in your film, you're not the only one in the film. Who else was there?
That was my sister, Jane. I wanted to, it was part of an attempt to find another person to fulfill that requirement for the film. But then I kind of enjoyed the idea of you go to such great lengths to your current activity is not as important as finding these batteries. And I thought that added a little bit of levity to the film.
Amazing. So this was obviously you said you shot this during the pandemic. This obviously required you to have some quick thinking, quick adaptation. Were you thinking of doing something different pre-COVID for your 27 film, or was this always the inspiration?
I thought of doing something that had been a bit more crime-oriented. I'm a huge advocate for movies that have illegal activities that show you a message that is placed in good faith, not condoning the activities, of course. But this film, I think, was something that I wanted as a contrast to all of the darker emotions that people have been feeling during this time. Something that was very lighthearted and very fun, and especially enjoyable to make myself.
Nice.
I noticed you had some very interesting shots throughout your film. One was in the washer, one was in the fridge. Out of all those interesting shots, which was your personal favorite to shoot?
It was those shots of, it was almost, I had to figure out the best way to place the camera inside of these certain places, and I had to use my brain and think of where in my house that I've lived in for years could I potentially use as a space to inhabit the screen. So those shots were my favorite. The laundry, or the washer rather, was the most difficult to try and figure out because, as we know, they're not flat surfaces.
No, not at all.
So you have to figure out how you're going to prop up the camera
Stack
without
some
a tripod.
towels.
Exactly.
Pray to God that mom doesn't start the washer.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, where are you going next? What's the next film project you're planning to do?
So I shot my 47 film called Sleep Fighter this fall, documenting the conflict between the conscious and subconscious mind of a struggling college student. And I think for my next project, I want to heavily incorporate some of my other interests besides filmmaking so that I have a stronger thesis in other aspects of creative pursuits. So,
Speaking of your other interests, we heard you're quite the anime fan. What's your favorite anime?
oh, that's a tough one. It's a hard question to ask. I would say that's a very fluid question. My favorite right now is Attack on Titan, simply because the directing and the story that has been so deeply interwoven with previous years and previous seasons has really given itself a solid edge.
Nice. Yeah, I was going to say, as someone who's an anime novice, do you have any recommendations for someone who's trying to enter this extremely, extremely colorful and vast land of anime?
So I actually would recommend not starting with an anime show.
Okay.
I would say starting with an anime film would be a great methodology into getting into anime. Two directors and films that I can think of right off the bat, Hayao Miyazaki and the Studio Ghibli films are glorious in every degree. especially Princess Mononoke, which is a film that has given me a lot of insight into nature versus industrialization. The film Akira, which I believe is right up there, by Katsuhiro Otomo, is gorgeous in depicting how society's values can conflict with that of divine faith. And I think they're both very visually deep and thematically complex movies that beg you to ask the questions rather than give you the answers itself.
Awesome.
Going on about anime films, how has anime or anime films inspired you within your own work and your own creativity?
So I've thought about a lot in my writing about how you can balance the dichotomy of lightheartedness and heavy-heartedness. Especially during COVID, initially, these themes are almost revolving around your headspace. And I think the biggest thing about anime films that I've noticed is that you get to see how they can play very joyful, playful scenes with these very dark, emotional, mature elements. And I think it's important to note that in anime, it is a creative medium that has no bounds. You can animate anything you want within any limit of your imagination. And I think that also applies into the range of how much effectiveness you can have in your themes.
Well, thank you so much. It was great to talk to you. We can't wait to see what you have next.
Of course, thank you so much for coming on to the show. It's great getting this insight from a young and great filmmaker like yourself and knowing a little bit more about how you invocate anime within your own film creativity.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
And next, we're going to see some more of our packages that our lovely package team has produced. Let's see them. It's sure to knock your socks.
Jojo, what are you doing here?
Abby, didn't you see my name outside? It's on the list.
No, I called and reserved this time slot.
This isn't the LDC, Abby. My name's on the list, so I'm entitled to the reservation.
No, don't have an attitude that you are entitled. You deserve nothing. No. You're not going to stand here and cry. Save it for your pillow.
Well, if you yell at me, I'm going to cry. What the heck are you doing?
That's it. Gianna, come here.
I should have known you'd bring out your stand.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I won't let the haters get their way. No matter what they say, I'll come back like a boomerang!
Give us the room, Jojo.
If I believe it, I can achieve it. And I sure do believe this is my room.
Don't be a dingbat. Gianna!
Boomerang? Ugh! This is useless.
Did you just?
I think I did.
No, it can't. Gianna!
R-E-A-M! You're going to jail for tax fraud, Abby.
It's always so inspiring to watch kids stand up to themselves against harsh adults. Abby Lee Miller, you're the villain. Jojo Siwa, you're the hero. And I love you, Jojo. And if you see this, please come visit us.
Yeah, I'll be real honest. That was such a great knockout from JoJo's part. She really got some real hands on her.
Hey, and it's such a great surprise. I'm joined back by both of my co-hosts for this evening here to help me close things out.
Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, and a big special thanks to our special guest, Ryan Pageant, for sitting down with us and sharing us a bit more about his work today.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at DirectorsCutHU and like us on Facebook, where we'll be posting exclusive content, behind-the-scenes photos, and so much more.
And if you're eager to relive the JoJo Siwa package, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can see all of our zany packages. Until next time, I'm Ryan Davies.
I'm Eduardo Guzman.
And I'm Juliana Battaglia.
This has been Director's Cut. Have a fantastic night.